Almost 500 Russian citizens living in Latvia have been told to leave the country after failing to meet new residency requirements. The law, introduced after Russia's invasion of Ukraine, requires Russian citizens to pass a basic Latvian language test. The rules mainly affected older residents who have lived in Latvia since the Soviet era but never learned the language. DW's Grzegorz Szymanowski sent this report from the Latvian capital, Riga.
Inside an Orthodox church, Galina Nikolaeva reflects on her uncertain future. She has lived in Riga for more than 6 decades, but she is now considered an illegal resident.
I haven't received a pension for 3 months already. It's to make me leave. I've been worried, even waking up at night, thinking about what might happen to me.
The 74-year-old is a resident of Latvia but holds a Russian passport, and she has not fulfilled the new residency rules.
This is the letter ordering me to leave Latvia.
She was ordered to leave Latvia by mid-October but stayed. The order followed her failure to apply for the mandatory Latvian language test. Nikolaeva says she avoided it because she had already failed a similar test before.
I'm really tired, and at my age, it's hard to keep taking exams for years. Honestly, if I was 65, I'd still be taking them, of course. But it's just too hard now.
She says she never needed to use much Latvian. 37% of Latvia's residents speak Russian as their native language. The amended law also requires Russian citizens residing in Latvia to pass a security check. But the main hurdle for most of those facing deportation has been the language test.
Despite their historical connection to this territory, these people are citizens of another country. In this particular case, they are citizens of the Russian state. And they had ample time to prove their language proficiency to remain here. Everyone was given the opportunity.
Some 30,000 people were affected by the new rules. Most of them passed the language test and kept their residency status. Around 2,600 people left the country voluntarily. Several hundred, who unlike Nikolaeva applied for a test, have been given an extension before facing expulsion.
Most of these people are elderly, and even if they can speak and understand the language, they often can't write correctly. So people try to pass the Latvian exams 2, 3, or 4 times and fail the written part.
People aged over 75 are exempt from the language requirements. Nikolaeva is 74. She was born in Uzbekistan and moved to Latvia with her parents when she was 7.
I've lived my entire adult life in Latvia. And of course, it turned out that Latvia is my homeland. I've always loved it very much. I studied here, I got married here, my daughter was born here.
The authorities say they will decide on each case individually. Nikolaeva says she hopes for leniency.
It's very nice to live here. That's why I want to stay here.
She says having never lived in Russia, starting over there would be too hard for her now.
For more on this, I'm joined now by DW correspondent who filed that report, Grzegorz Szymanowski. Good to see you. I guess the first question, are we going to see mass deportations of Russian citizens from Latvia?
Well, the Latvian government says no. They are stressing the fact that the majority of those affected complied with the regulations and that many people left voluntarily. They are now only talking about possible individual deportations. In fact, the Latvian Prime Minister has acknowledged that there have been some questions from Latvia's Western partners about this step, and that this case is also used by Russian propaganda. The Kremlin has used this case to claim discrimination of Russian speakers in Latvia. And So right now, Latvia says that it will be checking each case individually, and it also, at the same time, says that the law will not be reversed and that those who don't act upon it, they will have to leave the country.
Right. Mother tongue is not just a problem in Latvia, but why do some Russians living in Latvia still not speak Latvian?
Yeah, that's a good question. And we need to go back in history to World War II, when Latvia was occupied and annexed by the Soviet Union for the next 50 years. And in that time, Russians were encouraged to settle in Latvia, and Russian became the dominant language in the public sphere. It's only after the re-establishment of Latvian independence in 1991 that Latvian became the sole state language. However, Russian remained widely spread, widely used, and many Russians didn't feel the need to learn Latvian as they lived in the Russian-speaking communities. So it's been only after Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022 that Latvia has decided to push this group to learn Latvian more decisively than it did in the past.
And what's the scale of the situation, I guess? How big is the Russian minority in Latvia? And what's the current situation when you take that in regarding the Russian invasion of Ukraine?
Well, the Russian minority in Latvia is quite big. The ethnic Russians make up 25% of Latvia's population, which is only 1.8 million. So it's a small country with a big Russian minority. Most ethnic Russians, they are Latvian citizens. They know Latvian and they are well integrated in the country. However, many, and especially those who don't speak Latvian, many do feel this cultural affinity to Russia, and it's been a source of tensions, especially after 2022, when Latvia moved to limit Russian culture. It has banned Russian state media, it has destroyed some Soviet-era monuments, and this has led to tensions with this Russian minority. Some of its members say that they do feel alienated and discriminated against. However, Latvian authorities, they say that all these steps are necessary for social cohesion and national security.
Grzegorz Szymanowski, great to get your input. Thanks so much.